out on that field today, ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We ready? And let's go to the house. And let's go to the house.
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how like we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up the chin strap. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from them. He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man. You ought to make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like.
Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready? And let's go to the house. And let's go to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
This game is not over. It's just getting started right here on the lunch break. We're powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. I'm going to tell you a lot more about them in a little bit, but got to let you know it's Winning Wednesday, man. It is Winning Wednesday, and somebody is going to win $500 cash during the lunch break weekly, Keeping Up with the Joneses bracket challenge. And as of right now, let me tell you what's going on. As of right now, we're not going to talk about my bracket. That thing got busted day one. But Clarence is number one, tied with Sheridan Cross. Clarence has U of H to win it all. Sheridan has UT to win it all. So both of them, their exes and hearts, live in Texas. Right behind them, you got all these people tied at number three: Alice McGaffey, CJ, Miss Pearl, who already got 500 out of us, Stephanie Bisco, and Alice McGaffey. Both of her brackets are in the top three, but she's got Purdue in one of her brackets, so we already know that's a wrap. But she's got U of H in the other bracket, got a chance to win some money. Then at number 8, you got these three people, Jameis Jeter, Willie Gibson, and CJ, her second bracket. And who does she have? She has Marquette in that one. And again, we know that's not going to happen. At number 11, you have Alexis. Number 12, Big Mike, Milo, Todd Malcolm, Courtney Harding, Wallace Snowden, or Snowman, excuse me, Amber Shaw, Clarence, his second bracket, Stephanie Love, Alexis, and Big Mike. Again, both of his brackets are tied there, but he's got Arizona in that second bracket. That one ain't going anywhere. Then in the 20s, I'm going to stop here. Stephanie Love at 22, Milo at 22, and Todd Malcolm at 22. So, hey, man, listen, it's bunched up in there. I've told people, do not give up on your bracket unless you're me. Do not give up on your bracket, because at any moment, somebody's team can lose. Your team can vault ahead. I saw it happen last year with the last game. Based on who won the championship, that's who won the money, and we say congratulations to them. But this year, it's all about you. It is all about you. There was some action last night in the NIT. Let's give them some love. I hate to admit it. Oregon, number 1 seed in the NIT, lost to a team I can't stand, and that's Wisconsin, 61-58. Number 3, Charlotte. Let me make sure I got this right, because I like to cover all the games. But in the NIT, you had Oklahoma State, a number 1 seed, going down to the Green Machine of North Texas. Final score there was 65-59. That's why they play the games. 2 number 1s went down in the NIT last night. We got any CBI? Yeah, let's do a little CBI while we're at it. Little CBI. Southern Utah beat Eastern Kentucky beat Southern Utah 108-106. And then you had number 3 Charlotte beating Radford 63-56. Let me go over to the women's side, see what they had going on last night. I know they didn't play any NCAA games. Why are you doing me like that? Okay, here we go. Last night, 21st, it was just Kansas State knocking off Wyoming 71-55. All right, so anyway, that's what's happening there. Got some great games coming up in the Sweet 16 this weekend. I'm going to take a break. When I come back, we'll talk about that right here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of shows like this.
This is a BS3 network presentation. Politics.
They'll write the law, but they'll enforce it differently. Is that going to apply both ways?
Religion.
God never said that we can't reason together. Matter of fact, he said, let us sit and reason together.
Relationship.
I believe that everybody wants and needs somebody.
From a man's perspective.
They say, girls, if I put some polish on that and get him to buy some different clothes, girl, he could be a winner chicken dinner.
Join the thought engineer.
There's nothing wrong with me developing my piece and you developing your piece, but understand the goal is to come together.
And comedian John Yogi.
Negro, I don't need you putting on no chapstick up there in the pulpit. You do that over there in your chair.
Get ready for
Man Talk Monday. Woo!
Live every Monday at 7 p.m. Central.
That's why we here on this platform.
Marriage, a loving splendor, a daily grind. Such is the case when Damien and Jamie get together and chop it up, for marriage is real.
Let's just lay it all out here. Let's just be real with it.
Join this wonderful couple who keeps it real and always in love. BS3 Network proudly presents Marriage is Real, where love is the only thing that matters. Live every Tuesday at 8:30 Central. Oh, and Jamie has something to say.
Deuces and trays.
Deuces and trays from Marriage is Real podcast. Also, Man Talk Monday. Yeah, y'all, those are good shows that are on the BS3 network. If you've got a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV. You'll have those great shows. If you don't have a Roku streaming device, get one. But until you do, while you're waiting on it to be shipped, what you got to do is go to the website, bs3network.com. That's bs3network.com. You'll have all the latest juice. All right. So I'm saying that there are going to be some great games coming up this weekend in the March Madness tournament. On Thursday, it goes down with Kansas State, hopefully, that's just me, eliminating the Spartans of Michigan State, number 3 versus number 7. But we'll see. That'll be Thursday at 5:30. And then you've got number 4 UConn against a very good upstart number 8 Arkansas. We'll see where that one goes. That'll be Thursday at 6:15. Also, Tennessee trying to send Cinderella home. They've got Florida Atlantic at 8 o'clock Central. That one's on TBS. And then the game that everybody says, oh, that's the best game of the night. You got a number 2 versus number 3. Come on, y'all. It's UCLA versus Gonzaga. Okay, if y'all want to make that the game of the night, so be it. That one will be at 8:45 with the winners advancing to the Elite 8. I personally think that the UConn-Arkansas is a better game. Definitely think the Kansas State-Michigan State is a better game, but do you. That's on Thursday. Then Friday, You got number 1 seed Alabama taking on number 5 San Diego State. Alabama, a big favorite in that one by 7 points. We'll see what San Diego State brings to the party. Then you got U of H, number 1 seed, taking on number 5 Miami. Very good game. In fact, they've got the same point differential as the Alabama-San Diego State game. I think that's a little high as well. That one will tip off Friday at 6:15. And then Cinderellas are dancing. Number 6 Creighton versus number 15 Princeton. That will tip off at 8. And then I guess this is the game of the night. Number 2 versus number 3, Texas and Xavier. That tips off Friday at 8:45. So yeah, all those going to be interesting games. Let me see if I had to pick winners, who I would pick. My bracket is busted, so I'm just mumbling, and the brackets are all in, so this is not going to change anybody's picks. I'm hoping Kansas State will beat Michigan State. I've got UConn beating Arkansas, Tennessee beating Florida Atlantic, and UCLA finally sending the Zags home in that one. Yeah, I waved it off. And then in the Friday matchups, I got number 1 Alabama over San Diego State. I've got number 1 Houston over Miami. I've got Princeton continuing to dance against Creighton. Yep, 15 lives on to the Elite 8. And then in the late game, I've got number 2 Texas over Xavier. That'd be me. That's just me. Again, your brackets are in already. My brackets are busted, so it don't matter what I got on my picks. All right, let me take another break. I'll be right back right after this on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV.
When the man said that Sharifa Barksdale is on the verge, she's getting ready to set the world record, and I lost concentration and I fall off that hurdle, I was devastated.
Posición game ball de Canadá, dominando la prueba, y la estadounidense Sharifa Barksdale está en.
When I fell over that hurdle, it ended my career. And then all of a sudden, my coach grabs me by the throat. And I was going through some paperwork and seeing that he had spent 10 years in prison. And I was just like floored. It turned to domestic violence. I was terrified. So if I left, I don't know if I was going to die. My family didn't know if they was going to get a phone call to say that Sharifa was dead.
8910 radio, I just had a vehicle take a shot at me. Southbound on East 95th.
Broke the U.S. record in the 400-meter hurdles. Represented the United States of America.
Imagine being on the biggest, fastest roller coaster that you have ever been on. That's the way my life was for 20 years.
I never had no trouble out of her being what she wanted to be. Because if this is what she wanted to be a runner, well, God bless her, and he did.
For Steph Curry, Tim Anderson, Jordan Alvarez, and it's caught. Deebo Samuel with the catch.
Michael Jordan can sense.
The throw just got the king.
BS3 Network. The hottest of hot takes. The coldest of cold hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure. What do you get when you watch or listen to the Life Happens podcast? Well, I'll let them tell you.
Kim and I are both ministers of the gospel, and what Life Happens podcast is a beautiful balance by simply taking our spirituality with real life and merging it together to create a beautiful balance. And that's what we do.
BS3 Network proudly presents Life Happens podcast, where Christianity and life intersect. Live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of those folks right there. If you've got a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV. That's BS, the number 3 TV. Download that. You're going to have those great shows like Life Happens podcast. And if you don't have a Roku streaming device, just go to the website, bs3network.com. That's BS3, the number 3, network.com. And you are all in, my friend. All right. Hey, listen, we're rocking our way through a winning Wednesday. Let's go back over to the women's side of the brackets and let's talk about the games coming up this weekend. You've got number 2 Iowa, who I think is going to fill in for one of those number 1s that got upset. I think they're going to handle Colorado. I got Iowa over Colorado. Then Ole Miss and Louisville, both those teams balling, and I mean balling. Obviously, all the talk about the young lady from Louisville and the handshake line and all that. I like the way she handled it. She handled it like a pro. Talked about how, in battle, tempers flare, gets a little chippy, but, we just move on. So I like that one. That's going to be a good game, man. My heart goes with Mississippi and Coach Yo, but you know what? I'm from Cincinnati, just a little bit north of Louisville. So I'm going to leave that one alone. You go with yourself. Then, in the Sweet 16, it will be LSU and Utah. Number 2 Utah versus number 3 LSU. I know what I want in that game. I just don't know if Utah got what it takes to give it to me. We'll see what happens there. Then Villanova versus Miami. That Miami team is on one right there. Villanova, a very good team, obviously. So, listen, let's go with an upset with that. Let's go Miami. Let's go Miami in that one. So, again, that's what we have right there on the women's side of the Sweet 16. All right, time to talk about some of these free agent moves. I was on with my guys last night from the perspective, Big Phil and Jeff Barnes, and I like that they can kind of catch what's going on. You got a lot of teams that are being very busy during free agency, but that busyness does not necessarily mean that they're making quality moves. And nobody knows if they're quality moves until these guys get on the field. But excuse me, when I look at what Carolina's doing, getting up to the number 1 spot in the upcoming draft, making moves to fill voids that their team has with players that can actually play. There's some evidence of their ability to do it. And then you got a team like the Texans that's just making moves. They're making a bunch of moves. Don't get me wrong. They're making a bunch of moves, but they're bringing in guys who are either coming off of injury or haven't quite done it yet on a higher level in the NFL. You got special teams players that they're bringing in to be, special team players, obviously, but to be either starters or backups to starters on the team. And it's just like, we'll see. I'm not saying that that's not going to work. It just right now, it just looks like busy work. So we'll see. We'll see how things go off. A couple of teams that have definitely gotten stronger. Philadelphia has gotten, they didn't get weaker. And they ran through the league last year. Obviously, Carolina's making some moves to get better in a division that is very winnable for anybody. If you look at what happened with Tampa, Carolina, Atlanta, New Orleans, that's anybody's division. So don't look at don't think that those moves are for naught. They know what they're doing on this particular end of it. When it all comes together on the field, we don't know. Frank Reich, I know, can coach, but we'll see. We'll see, especially given who's going to be their quarterback. If they go Will Levis, but if they go with one of what I call the big 3, C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, or Anthony Richardson, there's a good shot they can make a large leap in that division. There's a name out there in the quarterback ranking that is getting some buzz in some places, but I think whoever gets him is going to get a steal. And that's Hendon Hooker out of Tennessee. Hendon Hooker out of Tennessee is going to be later than those 4 that I talked about: Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, and Will Levis. But Hendon Hooker is probably as good, well, definitely as good, if not better, than some of those 4. So we'll see who gets him and where they get him, because, again, it will be the steal of the draft. So that's that. We talked about Derek Carr going to New Orleans. If that was a good move for him, I think it was a great move for him. I think he fits the culture down there. I'm talking about our culture. I'm talking about the culture. I think he fits that. And it's definitely a place where I don't know what the deal was in Vegas, and not just with Josh McDaniels, but remember he was in the hot seat with the previous coach that was there with his nasty racist email sending stuff. So I don't know what the deal is, but I will say this. He's an upgrade. Derek Carr is an upgrade from what they had with Andy Dalton. And obviously, Jameis Winston was coming off of an injury. So when you put him and Jameis Winston together, they got a very good 1-2 quarterback duo and some weapons, especially if they can get Michael Thomas back. And if Alvin Kamara is not suspended for any long period of time. So we'll see what happens there. I mean, again, it could be a really good deal, but he's definitely an upgrade from the quarterback that they started last season. The question is now, can Dennis Allen coach? Because we still don't know. He was definitely a drop-off from what they had under Sean Payton, but whether Dennis Allen can coach and whether this offensive coordinator can reproduce any level of what we saw under Sean Payton, those are the questions that still remain to be answered. Just like in Houston, can Nick Caserio put together a team for a good coach, a great coach, to actually win with? That remains to be seen. He has not done that in 2 seasons. So let's see if he can do, if 3 is the charm for him. But those are the real questions. Everybody's putting the attention on the players. Can your general manager put together a team? Can your coaches coach? Those questions are as much of a deal as the players. And then the other thing we talked about was that quarterback from Green Bay and his whatever he got going on now with coming out of the dark hole and I want to play for the Jets and da-da-da-da-da. I feel like Green Bay, the organization, has gotten together and said, just chill. This is going to take care of itself. Just chill. Because the way that quarterback has gone about it, he has not done either side any favors. He has put the Jets in a situation where they're going to have to really pay up to get him, and he's put Green Bay in a position where they've got to get rid of him. And if it gets late, then guess what? They might have to settle for less than what they want, all because somebody doesn't know how to stop running their mouth. At the end of the day, it's all about one person with him. So I feel bad for the Jets. I feel like Green Bay has said, look, just be quiet. Just don't say a word. In fact, there's a published report says that they were sworn to secrecy. So just be quiet, let this thing take care of itself, and then we move on without all of that extra drama. Dude's got as many Super Bowl championships as Brad Johnson, Trent Dilfer. Eli Manning has more Super Bowl championships as a quarterback than this guy. He will never, in my book, you know, y'all can get what you want, but he will never be in the same conversation of greatness with Tom Brady, with Joe Montana. Never. He just won't ever. He's just not there. Heck, he's really not even the same conversation with his predecessor. He's not. Dude's got 1 chip. 1. So anyway, we'll see how all that plays out. But in NFL free agency, some teams are really getting what they need. Seattle re-signing Geno Smith and you know, could actually, you know, get one of those later round quarterbacks as well. You know, you got your seasoned veteran, get your future together and let's roll. Drew Lock isn't necessarily it for the future, but he is a good backup quarterback. So we'll see how that works out with them. You know, again, some other teams making some move. There are teams that have been inexplicably quiet. I need to get Mike Patton on here to find out what are they going to do in Tennessee. What are they going to do in Tennessee? Quarterback-wise, there was a report that they're trying to trade Derrick Henry. What is Tennessee going to do? Because Tennessee really, in my opinion, underperformed for where they should have been in the AFC South. And look, you got teams that are just getting better. You know, what's Jacksonville going to be? Are they going to take that next step after a nice run in the playoffs? What's Indianapolis going to do under new leadership and with a quarterback who is probably one of the top picks in the upcoming draft? So we'll see how all that plays out. All right, got one more break in me, and then we'll wrap it up right after this on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV.
Discouragement, sorrow, distance. Your arguments cause damage to your family. The hurt leads to divorce. You feel like there is nowhere else to turn. But there is hope for you. That's where we come into play. There is an overcomer that lives inside of you. One ready to take on the world as you leap for joy, living in victory. You'll grow to love yourself and others. There's life after divorce, and you can claim it today. Get Over Divorce, where your new story begins here every Thursday on YouTube and Spreaker. There's a 100% chance of a laugh thunderstorm. 4 men with different viewpoints take a movie, show, or documentary and review it uncensored, unfiltered, uncompromised, with no holds barred. Join BS3, Wilkes, King Dog, and H-Rap-B as they take on Hollywood their own way. BS3 Network proudly presents The Forecast, where H-Rap-B always predicts,
if I owe you something, I ain't got it. And if you need it, get it from God.
Live every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
When the man said that Sharifa Barksdale is on the verge, she's getting ready to set the world record. And I lost concentration and I followed that hurdle. I was devastated.
Posición game ball de Canadá, dominando la prueba y la estadounidense Sharifa Barksdale está en...
When I fell over that hurdle, it ended my career. And then all of a sudden, my coach grabs me by the throat. And I was going through some paperwork and seeing that he had spent 10 years in prison. And I was just like floored.
It turned to domestic violence.
I was terrified. So if I left, I don't know if I was going to die. My family didn't know if they was going to get a phone call to say that Sharifa was dead.
8910 radio, I just had a vehicle take a shot at me. Southbound on East 95th.
Broke the U.S. record in the 400-meter hurdles. Represented the United States of America.
Imagine being on the biggest, fastest roller coaster that you have ever been on. That's the way my life was for 20 years.
I never had no trouble out of her being what she wanted to be. Because if this is what she wanted to be a runner, well, God bless her, and he did.
All right, y'all, a little work there by JM&E and Javar Entertainment. So, hey, we're about to wrap this thing up. Got to get ready to go. But before I do, let me run through some of these NBA scores from last night. A couple of games to me that were pretty interesting last night. Sacramento is a team that I've been kind of keeping an eye on, but they got blown out last night by Boston, 132-109. They're still top 3 in the West, but man, that was a tough loss. And then Cleveland beating the Brooklyn Nets, 115-109. That was an interesting game. Spurs are a team I'm keeping an eye on because them and the Rockets are battling for the worst record in the league, and hopefully that number 1 pick in the draft this season. New Orleans took care of them 119-184. Then you got the Oklahoma City Thunder with a quality win over the Clippers in LA, 101-100. So as we look at the standings, you know, in the West, top 4, or let's go top 6. In the West, top 6, you've got Denver, Memphis still number 2. Number 3 is Sacramento. Number 4, Phoenix. Phoenix is 4.5 games behind Sacramento. That's why I said, man, y'all telling me Sacramento is not going to be there. Right now, I'm just talking standings. I'm not talking that they're going to do this in the playoffs. But, hey, they are in that number 3 spot. Phoenix is number 4. Number 5, the Clippers at 38 and 35. And then one game behind them, you got the Golden State Warriors at number 6. In the East, number 1, Milwaukee. Number 2, Boston. Number 3, Philly. Number 4, Cleveland. 5, the New York Knicks. And number 6, you got the Brooklyn Nets. They're a half game up on the Miami Heat. I'm keeping an eye on Brooklyn because now that they don't have Kyrie, now that they don't have Kevin, want to see how they ball out. And right now they're kind of, just bobbing. They're like a little bobber in the water. They go up, they go down, they go up, they go down. But if they drop out of that top 6 and get into the play-in, all bets are off. They stay in that top 6. I think they got a shot to, at least get past the first round of the playoffs. So we'll see. We'll see. If they were to play in the first round today, they would meet the Philadelphia 76ers. So maybe I spoke too soon. I don't know. They got a shot. But Philly, man, Joel Embiid seems to be on fire this year. All right, listen, let me get ready to get out of here. Winning Wednesday again, man. Hang in there with your brackets. If you're in the Lunch Break Weekly, Keeping Up with the Joneses bracket challenge, hang in there. If you still have a team as your championship team that's still playing, you got a shot. If you don't, let's get ready for some football. All right. So anyway, as always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I truly do love you. There's nothing you can do about it except meet us here tomorrow for Throwback Thursday. Also, Cowboy fans, y'all got a pretty good grade on the free agency as well. Cowboy fans, y'all should be excited about what your boys are doing right now. Listen, you ain't Philadelphia, but you are still up in there. Y'all didn't drop down to the number 3 team in the NFC East. So Cowboy fans, keep that head up. All right, y'all. We'll talk to you all later. Have a good one. We'll see y'all on Throwback Thursday.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today, it's Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023. Number 1, Tuesday marked the first day of a 3-day strike within the Los Angeles Unified School District, bringing the nation's second largest school district to a standstill. Local 99 of the Service Employees International Union, or SEIU, is demanding a 30% pay increase for essential workers in the LAUSD. The district reports it's providing necessary child care for working parents along with breakfast and lunch meals the children are accustomed to receiving for the next 2 days of the strike. Number 2, Joe Biden issued the first veto of his term Monday, a move considered an act of aggression against the Republican-controlled House. Mr. Biden sought to kill a Republican-authored measure that would ban the government from considering environmental impacts or potential lawsuits when making investment decisions for people's retirement plans. In a video released by the White House, the president said he vetoed the measure because it put at risk the retirement savings of individuals across the country. Number 3, U.S. cases of a dangerous fungus tripled over just 3 years, and more than half the states have now reported it, according to a new study. The COVID-19 pandemic likely drove part of the increase, researchers at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention wrote in a paper published Monday by the Annals of Internal Medicine. The fungus, Candida auris, is a form of yeast that is usually not harmful to healthy people, but can be a deadly risk to fragile hospital and nursing home patients. Number 4, Nebraska State Senator Michaela Cavanaugh is heading into her 4th week of fighting an anti-LGBTQ bill that would ban transgender health care for people under the age of 19. LB 574 would ban puberty blockers, hormone therapy, and gender-affirming surgeries, the last of which are done only on a case-by-case basis on adolescents, according to the Department of Health and Human Services. Nebraska itself is facing at least 4, including a trans sport ban, a ban on people under 21 attending drag shows, and a bill that would allow doctors to deny performing elective medical treatment based on personal beliefs. Number 5, Matthias Guzman is a 60-year-old Hispanic man. He's been missing from his home in Cedar Hill, Texas since March 12th. He was last seen leaving his residence, located in the 200 block of Oak Meadows Lane, walking to a local store, but never returned. Anyone with information on Matthias's disappearance, please go to the Black and Missing Foundation website. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Life should not just be lived, it should be celebrated. So inhale celebration and exhale sadness. Ooh, okay. Wait, I still got some more to exhale. Well, join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with Stephen Hill, Myra J., and Quinn Townsend Riley as we discuss today's top headlines and more. And a big thank you to our What You Need to Know partner, the American Heart Association. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.